from supporters. But when CNC3 News contacted her on Sunday for comment, she said the time will come when she will speak on the situation, but that time is not now. Her announcement comes as 3 members of the executive have resigned following a letter expressing a lack of confidence in the Member of Parliament. However, the PNM is said to be moving ahead with plans to verify the party groups in San Fernando East, one of the matters raised by Brian Manning. It is an exercise party sources say should be completed this week, after which party group elections are due. Those elections would then pave the way for the constituency executive election, with the PNM expecting to install the new executive in September, ahead of the annual convention in November. Police say elder abuse often goes unreported, with many senior citizens dependent on the very people who may be harming them. As World Senior Citizens Day was Friday, there are renewed calls for the public to look out for signs of elder abuse and protect them from harassment, assault, and intimidation. On Wednesday, ASP Leith Jones of the Police Special Victims Unit said reporting abuse can be challenging for senior citizens because they often rely on others for their daily needs. He urged relatives, neighbors, and community members not to hesitate to get involved.
You don't need to have evidence, You have to, once you have the suspicion of this crime taking place, cause it to be reported. You don't even have to disclose who you are. We have a number of anonymous means of reporting to the police. And once those reports are received, they will be investigated.
Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Yes, chipping into your brand new day and brand new work week. Today, Monday, August 24th. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Jason Williams signing on. I'm here with the team. Lakeisha's here, Sheldon is here, the entire team. We go until 8. And I want to tell you, next week, 7 days from now, which will be our 64th Independence celebration, we are going to be here live for just 1 hour from 6 to 7. We call it our Independence Special. We'll be dressed in our red and just looking forward to the great conversations as we celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's limitless potential. We'll get into some more independence discussions during the week. I have some concerns about the actual parade, but today is not the time and place. You have to read the room. It's the start of the week, and I want to start things off on a more upbeat and positive tip. Sit back, relax. Let's get into our front page. The headlines via the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Angostura battle over 984 million claim. Shareholders urged to block directors' return over alleged conflict linked to CL Financial. I saw this on the news last evening with the Rispolo, and you can read all about it inside today's Guardian. As a matter of fact, page 5 is where I would send you to get some more of the intimate details. We're looking at the developments in Tobago. Tobago hotels brace for a rough October. Apparently some water issues, and October is, what? What's happening in October in Tobago. That's Tobago Carnival, where I suspect outside of the July-August vacation, this would be the biggest foot traffic in Tobago for the year. The carnival it's growing. It's very popular now. It's one of the, it's made it onto the carnival calendar as the official last major carnival inside that carnival ecosystem. And I hope, I trust, I sincerely believe, again, this is me just putting a good energy out there, that they need to sort this out before October hits, because yes, there's going to be a drought. We know what's going on with the water issues, and we have had some of the hoteliers complaining during the course of the year, but this is not the time. They need to sort this out before October. If you want to read more about it, it's on page 6 inside today's Guardian. On the political tip, page 7 speaks to the resignation situation, what's happening with PNM San Fernando East, and the reintroduction, as it were, to the political landscape of Hazel Manning. She's offering herself up to to lead the charge there, and it's creating quite a debate. As a matter of fact, page 7 is dedicated to that particular development there in San Fernando East. You're seeing some political scientists and analysts also weighing in. You're getting some perspective from Dr. Bishnu Raghunath and Dr. Shane Mohammed. And I'm sure during the course of the week, one of the two gentlemen, I'm sure, would join me to ventilate and to express some more on that development in San Fernando East. Before we get to the back page, where you're going to see some basketball and some cricket action, that front page dance, this took place at the Nagar on Saturday. It's all part of the Independence celebration. A dancer from the Shogunas Women and Youth Group performs during what was entitled the Rainbow Dance Festival. And as mentioned, it happened down there at the Nagar in Shogunas on Saturday. All smiles. Beautiful dance. We say dance. You know, that's one thing, when it comes to the cultural expression. Our dance is second to none. Our dance, as a matter of fact. And the way we express it, so versatile and so unique to the Trinidad and Tobago experience. We head to the back page where there was some basketball action over the weekend, and we have to say kudos going out to the Spartans TT, who are moving on to the finals. This is all part of the North Zone Basketball League title, the first division title. They were able to get past the Maloney Pacers, who, as a matter of fact, were the winners last year. So there's going to be a new champion for the North Zone. Hard luck there for the Pacers, and a beautiful picture, really, of a Pacers player stealing the ball from his opponent and going all the way to the basket. Unfortunately, Pacers did not go all the way. And that's the same for TKR over the weekend. For some reason, when we head to Antigua and Barbuda, now granted, Antigua, they're leading the scoreboard. They look very good at home. I don't know what went on there on Saturday. I mean, we were very expensive down to the end with the bowling, obviously. That is what took Antigua over the line. But the champions, they're back home. And it's a different kettle of fish, a different momentum, a different focus when TKR play at home. Of course, next week for Independence, that's going to be the big game, the Classico of the CPL. Warriors, TKR, and of course TKR at home in the Oval. And we will be talking about TKR later on towards the end of the program, closer to the 8 o'clock hour. We will be joined by one of the top, I would say, top men on the planning side of CPL. We're talking here the head of international communications, Peter Miller, will join to really get us in tune for the Trinidad and Tobago experience this week into next week for CPL 2026. Let's head to the brief. We celebrate some of the youngsters doing well. I want to start with this young girl from SAGS. What a performance by young Kirsten Jade Rampasad. Kirsten, you're on your way to great success. Not only just your academic prowess, but we're just talking here in life. Just keep that same momentum. She said that sewing and fashion help her kind of just break the monotony of the studying. I've always noticed students who do extremely well, it's not just study, you know, they're either doing dance, well, in this case, fashion. Some do music, some do a sport. There's something that they do that just keeps that balance. And Kirsten, that's the balance I want you to keep going forward as you continue to pursue your goals. And well done to you, well done to your parents. And of course, the SAGs for a tremendous school, always putting out some of the very best. And we head now to Tobago with this youngster, Malik, who had a terrible back injury, had to stay out of school for a while, but he was able to go back there, maintain the focus, maintain his discipline with the sports, with track and field. And I can safely say his mom, Melanie, who's also featured in the picture, you've done a tremendous job, Mommy Melanie, with this young man, Malik. Really proud of him in terms of this particular story and this highlight. Love to see the youngsters do well, and I love to see them celebrate. And I love to see them with their mom, and the mom being so intimately involved and giving them the encouragement. I want to just mention this quick before we head to the post report. As I mentioned, the word mom, my mom was not feeling too well on Friday, so my sister took precautionary actions and took her down to the St. James Medical Facility. So I went to just, stay with her to make sure all was well. And I have to say, the professionalism, the commitment shown by the nurses and the entire staff there, and not only towards my mom. I saw that commitment to everybody who came in the space. Obviously, you know, as everything else, every hospital facility, you will have crowds coming in, people coming in. That other guy, like, blood on his face and his shirt, and next young man was limping. Different injuries, different illness. But everybody who went there, they got through, and you could see when I walk in the back, you know, to check on mom, you could see, you know, they're working under some conditions that could obviously be a bit better, but they're working with what they have. And I must say, to the nurses of Trinidad and Tobago, so many times people, you know, don't really, they will come and complain and say what they don't do, but very few talk about what they do every single day, dealing with the sick, going into a space that is not, let's be real, hospital is not an exciting space. It's a place that people are at their very worst and at their last. And they go there and they smile and they try their best. And I wanted to really celebrate the nurses there at the St. James facility. Thank you so much for the great service, not only to my mom, but to Trinidad and Tobago and to everyone you treat with on a daily basis. Let's take that pause. We get ready for the boss report. It's up next. And of course, Carissa Gobin is coming in to tell us about the movers and shakers when it comes to the big business. Your boss report next.
No place in this world I'd rather be.
Great deals with PRW Back to School. Save big with a laptop starting from $3,250. Samsung A9 tablet only $1,199. Printers from $650. Smart TVs from $1,150. 27-inch curved monitor $1,399. Wireless headphones $240. HP and Epson inks available. Call PRW today.
Textbooks, screens, late nights. Your eyes work hard through every class, exam, project, and deadline. Ferrara Optical has eyewear specifically designed to reduce eye strain so nothing holds your learning back. For a limited time, youth get a free frame with lenses from just $495. Scholars get frame and lenses starting at only $750. And lifelong learners save up to 30% off your purchase of advanced lenses like Eisen and Transitions. Less strain, more focus. Your vision without limits. Visit Ferrara Optical in store today. This promotion is NLCB approved.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy.
Rock off,
unbeatable
rock
taste,
off.
new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off.
The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, teaching the truth about God's people, God's plans, and the secrets of God, all written within the pages of the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. Watch The Hidden Truth every Thursday at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. on CNC3.
Living with diabetic neuropathy is exhausting. The burning pain and tingling that won't go away? Introducing Myolaxin D Gel, made for pain relief. Fast absorbing, non-greasy, and easy to apply. Its Carbomer gel formula delivers relief deep at the nerve level. Oleoresin capsicum helps reduce pain signals, while diclofenac eases inflammation. Menthol and camphor provide fast, soothing comfort, so the pain eases and comfort returns. Size doesn't matter. This 15-gram tube gives you maximum relief. Myolaxin D Gel, available at pharmacies nationwide.
Investment analyst Carissa Gobin joins us next for the Boss Report. Carissa, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of the Boss Report. I'm Carissa Gobin, an investment analyst at Boss, and today we will be reviewing the financial performance of two companies in the manufacturing sector, the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited, or WITCO, and Angostura Holdings Limited, or AHL, for their respective 6 months period ended June 30th, 2026. WITCO reported improved earnings supported by higher revenues, while Angostura faced lower revenues and margins that resulted in weaker financial performance. So firstly, let's take a look at Whitco's half year's performance. Whitco reported the earnings per share of 15 cents in the current period versus 14 cents in the prior comparable period, up 7.1% year-on-year. Revenue advanced 5% to $200.3 million. Its profit before taxation amounted to $49 million, up 6.9% year-on-year. Overall profit for the period advanced 6.8% from $34.4 million to $36.7 million in the current period. Taking a closer look at revenue trends, after several consecutive periods of decline, Whitco's revenue rebounded in the current half-year period from $191 million in half-year 2025 to $200 million in half-year 2026. This was driven by stronger volumes across both domestic and export markets, despite the impact of higher local excise duties. Looking at Whitco's profitability margins, its gross profit margins declined from 51.5% in half-year 2025 to 48.3% in half-year 2026, reflected increased cost pressures. Its operating profit margins improved from 23.6% in half-year 2025 to 24.1%. And its profit after tax margin increased from 18% to 18.3%. On a trailing 12-month basis, its earnings have fallen from $1.36 to 44 cents in the current period on a trailing basis. Dividends have also come down, reflecting reduced profitability over the years, with its trailing dividends per share moving from $1.42 to a current 41 cents on a trailing basis. Its trailing dividend payout ratio has remained elevated over the years, currently at 93.2%, as the companies continue to pay out the majority of its earnings in the form of dividends. Going forward, dividends are likely to remain subdued unless there is a sustained recovery in earnings. At a price of $4.20, Whitco's share price is currently up roughly 61% year to date, reflecting improved investor sentiment. Whitco's trades at a trailing PE ratio at 9.6 times versus the combined manufacturing sector average of 6.7 times, and offers investors a trailing dividend yield of 9.8% versus the sector average of 9.4%. So on the basis of improved revenues, mixed margin performance, and continued market and industry challenges associated with higher local excise duties and increased competition, as well as above average valuations, BOSS maintains a market weight rating on Whitco with a watch outlook for the time being. Moving on quickly to Angostura. So Angostura reported the earnings per share of 30 cents in the current period versus 33 cents in the prior comparable period, down 9.1% year-on-year. Revenue declined 4% to $468 million. Its profit before tax declined 12.5% despite reporting lower selling and marketing costs, and this moved from $96.7 million to $84.6 million in the current period. Overall profit for the period amounted to $62 million, down 8.1% year-on-year. Looking at Angostura's revenue trends, there has been some fluctuation in its revenue over the years, with the revenue declining 4% in its latest period from $488 million to $468 million in the current period. Despite higher local excise duties, revenue from both domestic and international markets increased, according to the group. Moving on to profitability margins. So its margins are currently at its lowest level across the last 4 comparable periods. Its gross profit margins fell from 49.9% to 41.2% in the current period, reflecting increased input costs, and operating profit margin moved from 17% to 15.5%, and profit after tax margin moved from 13.8% to 13.3%. From a valuation standpoint, its PE ratio, its trailing 12 months PE ratio, now trades at a more attractive level compared to its historical valuation. And this came alongside the decline in its share price over the years. So we see that its trailing PE ratio moved from a peak of 30.3 times in half year 2023 to a current 14.1 times. Its trailing earnings per share remained relatively stable year on year at 71 cents in half year 2026. So at a price of $10.01, Angostura trades at a relatively elevated trailing PE ratio of 14.1 times versus the manufacturing sector average of 6.7 times, and offers investors a trailing dividend yield of 3.7% below the sector average of 9.4%. So on the basis of lower revenues and reduced margins and continued cost management initiatives taken by the group, as well as elevated valuations, Boss maintains a market weight rating on Angostura for the time being with a watch outlook. And that brings us to the end of this week's edition of the Boss Report. For more information, please feel free to give us a call at 226-8773 or email us at info@bossfinancial.com. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Boss Report.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster. Your friends are investing with First Line. This one have house, this one building business. You, my son, hey, you are buying rims.
My enemies have succeeded.
It's not too late, my son. Call First Line. Secure your future today so we do not hang our heads in shame. I'll call First Line now.
Wisdom says it's never too late to take control of your finances. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
At Extra Foods, we care for you. That's why we offer you the widest variety at the best prices. Clean, spacious surroundings. Friendly professional service because we care. And remember, we're the home of plenty for 20 savings, giveaways and samplings. Plus, we're open all day Sunday just for you. And we've got you covered with basement parking for over 200 cars for your convenience. Because our customers are our priority. Let us care for you. Extra Foods. Always extra for less.
I'm
Regional security expert Dr. Garvin Hira. He joins me on the Zoom line this morning. And Dr. Hira, I want to say firstly, good morning and thanks for the time. And I really look forward. We have most of the first hour to really do a serious deep dive into security, national security concerns, more so the recent bomb threats. And you would have put out an article, I read it, and there are so many points I want you to just give you a chance to elaborate. I want to pick your brain, really. But let's go back on what I would have heard as a child coming up. This was obviously before my time. I heard as it pertains to actual bombs and explosives going off, causing any kind of disruption. I believe many would have mentioned back in 1970 there was something down at the Army base in Tetron. You could confirm and refute that one. And I know there would have been in the early 2000s, there was a bomb on Frederick Street in a dustbin. I don't know if you recall that one. It caused some disruption.
The dustbin bomber.
The dustbin bomber. That was around Carnival time. That's the two I could really recall. Everything else would have been just, threats. And a lot of people used it as a disruption tactic when it comes to negotiation. I was working in a government agency back in the early 2000s, and when they were going through the negotiations, every other day was a bomb threat, and we knew it was a tactic. So many don't really take it that serious, but you obviously see it a bit differently. I just wanted to put that context before we started the conversation as it pertains to just the two I could recall in recent history. If there are more, please let me know in terms of actual bombs going off in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, well, again, pleasant good morning to you, JW, and to the team, and of course to the media house and those of us who are streaming live and viewing the interview this morning. I want to thank you very much for engaging in the conversation, and you're quite correct. There have been a lot more. There have been the pranks and the school bomb threats to that, school, they don't want to do an exam or they don't want to do school today. Somebody basically imitates a call or goes to a phone booth in the old days, makes a call, and there's a school bomb threat and the school is evacuated, never called back, children go home. We've seen that before. During the time of industrial action, yes, court matters. And as a matter of fact, I think recently we saw some at the court and, of course, across the wider sector of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's not new to us, bomb threats, that is. But what I am saying is that we also have to pay a lot of attention to the response agencies, our fire services, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the intelligence agencies, the telecommunications agencies. When these bomb threats occur, we are already operating in a stretched sort of environment outside there, trying to what I'll call deliver the capabilities and the capacity of not only national security but the state. And these bomb threats will only further stretch the agencies and the manpower in addressing and treating with it. I went further to say, and our pre-interview conversation identified that this is more than just evacuating a building, mustering people, doing a head count, running a check, ensuring that there are no bombs, and then returning to norm.
Yes, interestingly, because you did, and I think probably that's where you're going, because you said something here that really grabbed my attention. You said technology must become part of the investigation. You said you cannot, again, your words are, you said the response cannot depend primarily on officers physically attending locations, evacuating buildings, and conducting searches.
Correct.
What else? What technology could be utilized to not, let's say, have our manpower being taken off of a regular duty to treat what clearly seems to be 9 out of 10 times a hoax? Now, we're not suggesting it's always a hoax. We established there would have been explosions in the past. But does a deep dive? What technologies out there? What could we use to ensure that the manpower is not wasted on, let's say, a fake call?
We have to understand too that it's the same way us as national security and as the state and as law-abiding citizens and both in the corporate and in the private sector, are embarking on technology as a platform, as a launch pad to work smarter, to become more effective, to deliver on our objectives and to maintain that sort of brand management and imagery outside there in corporate world, in business world, for business continuity. The criminals are also exploring the avenues of technology. So they are using technology now as we speak with regard to stealing and to robbing online and pulling people money out of accounts and extortion and all that. So technology has become the new space for criminal activity. And therefore, as we are speaking on the bomb threats, what is necessary is the digital footprint. How do we examine the digital footprint? How do we preserve technical data and evidence, that metadata, the comms metadata, the communications metadata that will be in generation, but that has been generated with regard to phone calls or be it other mediums that are sending these threats, and of course the device characteristics that might be involved, what type of device, the characteristics of these devices, and of course timestamps. Those are some of the key issues that I mentioned there. But as you would recognize, how do we do all of that, Mr. Hira? I hear what you're saying. So I'm recommending a multi-agency bomb threat intel and investigative cell, and that should involve telecommunications, that should involve the police service, our technological forensic team, and of course the investigations and intelligence teams. And we form up this cell so that we can treat with these bomb threats not just as pranks. We have to understand that something is happening. And is it an organized system? Is somebody testing the system? And you would have seen I went ahead to speak on why would people want to commit bomb threats? Why would they want to do that? And it's very important that we take a technologically sophisticated approach to this issue. We must make a stand of international best practice and not just take this as a prank and investigate, evacuate, run a bomb search, run the dogs through, okay, there are no bombs, and we pull back. We have to also be ahead of the game and advance our technological footprint in the investigative capacity.
So let's expand on that, Dr. Hira, because again, you've mentioned here, why would someone make a bomb threat? And you listed a couple reasons to test the response system. You would have mentioned create fear and psychological pressure, which is what it does. Disrupt. We saw that last week with the court and the mall, a mall of all places. They call into, say, a bomb threat in a mall. You would have mentioned divert security resources, and that is my concern, that we sometimes take resources from their station, whether it be fire or police station. We send them down to this particular location, and something else could be happening elsewhere.
Correct.
My question is, again, 9 out of 10 times, it's a hoax. We don't, God forbid, ever want that kind of bomb scenario to be part of our history and existence and the way we go forward. But how do we treat with it with the most minimum, with the least amount of personnel going on the site to treat with it, especially in a scenario where there are multiple, like we would have experienced last week?
Yeah, it will always be a requirement for authorities and personnel to be on site, always. There's something called a response capability. The responders to that will always have to be there. But what I'm saying is that we also have to pay attention that the criminal is working in a smarter space. And therefore, is he diverting the attention of authorities, or are they diverting the attention of the authorities to this bomb threat in the city, at a school, at a mall, at a court, wherever, so that an opening, a portal is created so that we could conduct our crime, commit our crime, or proceed through an area, be it at a higher level of criminal activity. Clearly, we have to be very careful of that. And that point that I talked there about instilling fear, chaos, disruption to society, that's an impact. So yes, it might be a hoax, that nothing was there. There are no devices, no hidden explosives. But there is an impact. So they have achieved their objective in that they created chaos and fear and disrupted the stability of society. And that is an impact on its own. So they have achieved an objective. Are they trying to do that? What is happening? We have to also pay attention, and I'm hoping that the state is focusing on this, that, we are also in an energy-driven sector in this country, our industrial sector, our energy sector, and therefore bomb threats align as very serious, as critical when it comes to those things, and especially in the industrial sector because of the impact it can have to our economy, the business sector, the banking role, for instance, customers pull back, there's an evacuation, people leave the city, businesses is interrupted. Those are some serious concerns. So there's a strike, a dent in the armor to the economic sector when it comes to these bomb threats, and of course the affiliation and the alignment to the criminal activity. That is why I'm calling for a sophisticated, technologically driven investigative intelligence gathering approach to these bomb threats. And that is where we utilize our telecommunication providers. We utilize all of the metadata capturing and the preservation of digital evidence. And we take an investigative approach to all of this and bring people before the courts. Arrest. We have to show that we have effected arrests to all of this, and not just the minister has vocally promised that we will soon see arrest to all of this, and that is good. It gives an assurance, but we have to follow that up with some action. And I'm saying this goes beyond just investigating now. We have to create a web that covers this and shows this sophisticated. It's an international best practice now that has been adopted, and we have to just follow suit along those lines.
So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Dr. Hira, but I must, again, as we're trying to unpack this and open all avenues of the discussion, is there a possibility there could be dark agents within, let's say, even state agencies, clandestine folks who would bring this kind of disruption to advance an agenda of, let's say, the state of emergency policy to ensure that we stay within this particular zone of fear and saying that, well, you know what, some of these measures are in place because of these same threats and this particular disruption to our daily business and to the energy sector and everything that you would have mentioned. Is there a possibility there can actually be dark forces within the said state who would perpetrate this kind of stuff to create the national discussion to advance a particular agenda, security-wise?
Well, first I want to say, don't go labeling yourself along the lines of that, you're doing something wrong by thinking like that or being a conspiracy theorist or whatever, GW. We've known each other over the years, and we've had good, strong conversations, crucial conversations. And it's always applaudable when you can think out of the box. And this is what I'm advising the state. Don't think on the obvious, think outside of the box. And you would see that one of my points there speaks specific to diversionary tactics. Could it be a diversion tactics in that you want to kind of focus or create an attention so people are looking in one direction when in fact you're getting to pacify an issue or to smoothly grease a wheel for something to go through on the other end? Or more importantly, is it generated now from the originators? These are things that have to be taken into consideration. Hence the reason I asked for that specific sort of bomb threat intel investigative cell that can look deeply into that and not just deny it up front, but deny it with empirical evidence that we've looked into this and it is not that. So we definitely want to ensure that it is not this aspect of allegation that we are discussing. But yes, it's very possible that can happen. It has happened in the bigger countries, and it continues to happen where things are generated so as to create a sort of momentum, create an issue, create a need, create what is required as a void so that we need to fill it with some sort of action or decision. And it is important that we deny that, but we don't deny that based on just PR. We deny that based on an investigative flow that shows it is not this way. So nothing is wrong with assumption. Nothing is wrong with assuming this as part of an investigator.
And it's a frightening place to be because the reality is on the ground, the common man and woman, there is this, when you speak, when I go on the ground and I have conversations, there is a mistrust as it pertains to the system and the leaders in place. And this didn't happen overnight. It's not just a current administration scenario. We're talking about even during COVID, with the last administration, many people sometimes do not truly take wholesale what is being said by the leaders. And I say all this to go back to a security issue that would have come to the public domain via our AG, who mentioned a rocket launcher. We didn't hear nothing about it. It came up in a press conference. Of course, the building is still in Port of Spain. There's been no kind of attack. So when you hear these kind of statements being made, and people see this, people see it and they almost dismiss it. And it's very frightening because the day it really comes to light, a lot of people might indeed be damaged or there'll be a loss of life, because if you're crying wolf, wolf, wolf all the time, the day the wolf really show up, what's going to take place? So let's treat with the trust and that belief in the actual security apparatus of the country. I think it's eroded at this point in time.
Yeah, I think they've chipped away at the trunk, and the reason for that is the whole issue of there's a certain amount of, I wouldn't say untruth or lies, but statements are questioned, and certain allegations are questioned. Certain declarations are now questioned, and therefore we have to be very careful in what we say and how we say it. and it is expected that, the citizenry is going to question, they are going to ask, they are going to inquire. People are going to look at this thing in 2-3 ways. And then one of the issues that I wouldn't say affects that, but contributes to that is the consumption too in social media. And we have a lot of, everybody out there is a newscaster, is a blogger, is bringing some kind of information, of course, just for their own personal mileage and their own build-up with regard to views. But the state is competing against that. And therefore, it's very important that you'll always hear me speak about proper media management when it comes to the police service, for instance, when it comes to government agencies and the state, and how we speak to the citizenry and how we declare the truth. Because we as citizens are not entirely innocent. We've gotten into a trend of news seeking. We love the sensationalism, and we love to go on social media.
The bacchanal, the bacchanal.
Exactly. We love the bacchanalism.
Yes.
And the bacchanalism has now dictated our consumption and our interpretation. So
and it's interesting, if you like bacchanal, you actually go to the source where you get the bacchanal, and sometimes that source is bringing misinformation,
Exactly, but you get so used to this thing that you love the misinformation, because that is where the bacchanal is, and it's almost like when it comes to the gospel is simple and it's truth, However, there's a lot of sensationalism with regard to the word of God, and people love the drama and all, and they go towards that. So I just diverted on that for a point, but it's very important that the state now pays attention to how they communicate. And therefore, even with these bomb threats, we should be getting some updates and communications, technologically driven, telecoms involvement, and updates as to where we are and how we are looking at that. Why are we doing this? We're doing this so we promote the concept and understanding that we are on top of this, and more importantly, we are continuing in an international best practice. Even consider utilizing some of our international counterparts and how to treat with some of this for the sophistication of the technological investigations. It's just gone beyond just a bomb threat and a bomb squad and bomb dogs. This is now showing where somebody is trying to either test our response, some system is looking to disrupt or cause chaos. Maybe it's diversionary. Maybe it's also to look at our vulnerabilities, where the weaknesses are.
And let me tell you, Dr. Hira, timing, as you know, is everything. We look at when it happened last week, who would have been impacted? The courts and, the shopping mall. And Independence is around the corner, our celebration, carded for 7 days from now. We have the opening of the law term around the corner. CPL is around the corner. This was done with a particular intent to, as you rightfully say, cause disruption. Thankfully it did not, because again, it goes back to that trust issue. A lot of people heard it last week and just choops and say whatever. Unless something happens, that's when we only take it serious when it gets serious in this country. I've come to that point of observation and reality. But in the meantime, we must have the conversations, and there are people like yourself who must come with recommendations so that for those who don't take it serious, when it actually gets serious, there are contingencies in place. Do you anticipate it could ever really truly get serious? Do you think we are heading towards that place?
Yeah, and it's not to be pessimistic, and it's not to be preaching doom and gloom. You always have to be prepared for the unexpected. I was trained in that concept. Be prepared for the unexpected, and you have to ask what ifs. Therefore, it's important that the Minister of both Defense and Homeland Security, inclusive of his heads of security, bring their operational commanders and theater and a what if, so that we are prepared in the event that something happens, how to treat with it. For instance, if a bomb threat happens for the airport, it disrupts an international corridor. That's a serious thing. The oil and gas sector, our health sector, what are our what-if contingencies to ensure business continuity? So we have to be on top of the ball. We cannot be reactive. Right now, we are appearing, I'm not saying that we are appearing reactive. We have to be proactive and updating the citizenry, putting contingencies in place, establishing key investigative cells as I recommended, looking at the list of why would a bomb threat be communicated or at least committed, And then more importantly, looking at utilizing a multi-agency involved also with digital forensics. That's very important, the digital forensics approach. How do we check the digital footprint and backtrack on this thing? Create a wider scope. So we have to get sophisticated in our approach as a country. And more importantly than that, we have to show that we have considered the what-if contingencies by theatering an issue. And that is where our operational commanders need to be on the ground, on the table, looking at that in some sort of operations planning center. Why? Because we are at a stage of preparation for the unexpected, and more importantly, exhibiting international best practices and move away from the reactive approach to the proactive approach as Homeland Security Defense combined.
As we wrap things up again, Dr. Hira, I'll give you a chance to put in your closing statement, but just remind me, and if you could probably give a solid recommendation as to what can be done to bring back that level of trust. Again, we look at recent happenings where I would have mentioned the rocket launcher, this bomb threat situation last week, high-ranking government officials saying that their lives are under threat, which I'm sure it's been a part of the reality for anybody in a leadership position. I mean, that comes with the territory. I was just running as a candidate, and my life was a threat. I wasn't even in a seat of influence. And my phone was blowing up, and man wanted to shoot and kill me. So and it disrupted my whole spirit, and it's one that, when you get a threat, as you know, psychologically, everything spiritually, you are disrupted. You are concerned. Nothing happened, obviously. I'm still here.
You become broken.
You become broken, yes. What can we do to ensure that there is a level of trust, especially when it comes from the mouth of an official? We could say that, you know what, I really believe and understand what is being said here, and what they're doing seems to make sense. What can be done in the immediate?
Yeah, well, it has to be done like in a two-lane road, two ways. And first and foremost, our communication. We need to look at how we communicate, and when we communicate, and what we communicate. I think the government has to review its communication strategy. And I would have mentioned media management, and this is just managing the media. When people hear media management, they're just managing the media. No, it's not. Media management is ensuring that we communicate, we have a communication strategy so that we are providing information that updates the citizenry from an authenticated source. And, we shouldn't sacrifice accuracy for speed. That's one thing. The other thing is that in line with that, we have very firm action that is being conducted outside there, bringing people before the court's arrest. So we see action supported by communication, because if you are broken, just as I said, you want somebody to put their arms around you, to comfort you, to let you know, hey, you know what, GW, it's going to be all right, things are going to work out. And you build a certain amount of trust to this voice that is speaking to you, because it's a calm voice, it's a voice that is calming you down. It's a voice that is giving you hope. It is a voice that's telling you, you know what, we're going to do this, we're going to work this through together. However, it shouldn't just be a talk shop. It should be a walk shop, in that from that voice that is comforting you, you also want to see certain things taking place that is bringing certain actions to the table that is giving you a sense of, you know what, yeah, boy, things are going to turn around. Yeah. And that is what we need to see, that action followed with a communication approach. Because what is going to happen, the sensationalism, the bacchanalism is going to dictate the mindset and the ideological reaction of society. And we need to fix this quickly.
Dr. Hira, as always, sincere thanks. Great conversation this morning, and hopefully we'll get a chance to touch base again soon. All the best.
It's an honor. And again, congratulations to the Media House for raising the conversation. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah, you're most welcome. That's Dr. Garvin Hira, regional security expert. We take a pause, we do some housekeeping, and get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. See you soon.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order. Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Hi, Sunil here, and for the longest while, I've been looking for a place in Central to call home. I didn't have much experience in home shopping until I visited Avidan Properties Limited. They made the process so easy and the quality of homes are truly amazing. If you're looking to get your future home, then I definitely recommend Avidan Properties Limited.
Invest in every innings. Is this the best match of the season? Yes, it is. With the Unitrust Corporation on your team, it's the best match every season. Stop settling for less. Access the best performing funds on the market with the highest income fund rates in the industry with UTC on your side and its 44 years of investment experience. You won't just support the winning team, you'll be part of one. Visit the nearest investment center, agency, or ttutc.com to sign up today.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Welcome back. Let's remind you of ways you can contact the team and make your request to sit with me live in studio or to join me on the Zoom line. You're sending your emails to tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Concise, to the point, and Nikisha will get back to you very soon. Let's head to our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and X, very active. That's where I get lots of my information, especially the Instagram feed. I mean, we're on top of it. We're on top of it, so I implore you to, get that today. Another, I would say, great avenue for all your top stories. We've read the stories, and your number one source, I would safely say, for all breaking news is the CNC3 mobile app. A must-have on your smartphone. Get it today. Put yourself in again and stay on top of all local, regional, and international developments. Now, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. We are here. It's going to be another amazing week. I look forward to the Independence copy next Monday as we continue to feature all that is beautiful about our twin island state, Trinidad and Tobago. As a matter of fact, I'll get to Guardians, the TNT means, what TNT means to me segment. I'll do that inside the next hour. I'm going to give some commentary from Rihanna Bridge-Mohan. I'll do that after 7. So again, good morning to the Guardian team. Let's head into our food for thought. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. To stand up. Dust off the pants, dust off the skirt, ladies. Dust off the pants, gentlemen. And just keep going. It's never a loss, eh? There's nothing called a loss. There's always a lesson. And it's via that lesson we're able to raise up and go again. So with that being said, let's get ready for a pause. We go into the 7 a.m. news update. As a matter of fact, I think some calls will take place after 7, and I'll give you the Guardian's What TNT Means to Me segment with Rihanna Bridge-Mohan after 7. See you soon.
It's back to school!
savings time at Passad's the Food King. Stock up and save big on. Get 4 packs of Swiss spaghetti or macaroni, 400 grams, just $20. Swiss peanut butter, 235 grams, 2 jars, only $20. Erin Farm chicken bologna, 150 grams, 3 packs for only $20. Guiltless yogurt yum, 120 grams, 4 tubs for just $20. Kraft mac and cheese dinner, 5.5 ounces, 2 boxes, just $20. Fresh Harvest baked bean and tomato sauce, 3 tins, now $20. 8 Gala apple snacks for just $20. Blue Sea tuna flakes in water or oil, 140 grams, 3 cans, just $16.99. Oasis water, 330 ml, just $14.99 per case. Don't miss the back to school deals at Passad's the Food King. They'll end September 6, 2026 or while stocks last.
Passad, quality value, that's our way. The real Passads, we're here to stay. The Food King Passads.
Hi, I'm Didi, a doctor in nutrition and diet therapy, registered dietitian nutritionist, and owner of Didi's Healthy Living Cafe. And today we're going to prepare one of our best sellers, which is our banana nut slice. We pride ourselves in using wholesome, natural, local ingredients to fuel your body with more intention. All we need is banana, oats, baking powder, and of course our 100% real honey. If you're someone who needs help with your health and you're interested in healthy eating, don't forget to check out Didi's Healthy Living Cafe on Kearney Savannah Main Road in Charlottesville.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
Cold or flu? Take Panadol multi-symptoms. Relief in minutes. 7 cold and flu symptoms. Panadol. Release starts here.
Living with diabetic neuropathy is exhausting. The burning pain and tingling that won't go away? Introducing Myolaxin D Gel, made for pain relief. Fast absorbing, non-greasy, and easy to apply. Its Carbomer gel formula delivers relief deep at the nerve level. Oleoresin capsicum helps reduce pain signals, while diclofenac eases inflammation. Menthol and camphor provide fast, soothing comfort, so the pain eases and comfort returns. Size doesn't matter. This 15-gram tube gives you maximum relief. Myolaxin D Gel, available at pharmacies nationwide.
Have yourself a great investment week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world. Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Sweeney Gray with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
Heritage Petroleum Company's chairman, Keith Ramlal, has resigned after being asked to step down last week. CNC3 News understands it follows allegations of impropriety involving the allocations of contracts. One of the energy company's dismissed directors, Romel Lalu, says the government is heading down a slippery slope with several directors departing state boards in the last few months.
So the government is imploding in itself because it's failing to do what is right.
Former Energy Minister Stuart Young is calling on the Prime Minister to tell the population why Ramlal resigned or if his departure was related to the procurement and award of contracts valued at millions of dollars. The body of a 45-year-old man was found floating in Pigeon Point around midday on Sunday. Ravi Silochan was the father of 4. He lived with his former in-laws on Storby Local Road. Relatives said he was recently separated from his wife over his drinking and had a court hearing last week over the custody of their children.
He did mention how important his children was to him. And, you know, he had girls' children and he was, a bit, cautious about, when you have girl children and when the father isn't around and, and it's like from 14 go down. Right. So he was cautious about that.
Kisoon says despite his drinking, Silochan was a very kind and loving person. As World Senior Citizens Day was Friday, there are renewed calls for the public to look out for signs of elder abuse and protect them from harassment, assault and intimidation. Last Wednesday, ASP Leith Jones of the Police Special Victims Unit said reporting abuse can be challenging for senior citizens. He's therefore urging relatives, neighbours and community members not to hesitate to get involved.
You don't need to have evidence, You have to, once you have the suspicion of this crime taking place, cause it to be reported. You don't even have to disclose who you are. We have a number of anonymous means of reporting to the police. And once those reports are received, they will be investigated.
First Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons, Ronald Cooper, is also urging neighbours to report instances of elder abuse, noting that the abuse can also be emotional. He says TOP is doing what it can by conducting monthly visits to senior citizens across the country. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
3 minutes after 7 o'clock, just a little programming tip. We'll put the calls on hold for today. We'll try to treat with that tomorrow. Lots of pace inside the second hour. And as promised, some feedback concerning what TNT means to me. Rihanna Bridge-Mahan says TNT means love and community. She says our culture, our twin island nation, and the lime and vibes we bring wherever we go, it's unmatched. Rihanna, thanks for the commentary. And we will be playing some of these amazing words of confidence and love for the country during the course as we get ready for our independence celebration next Monday. Up next, the weather update with Sigoni, and every single Monday she gets into what we call the Farmer's Almanac. All farmers, enjoy.
Hi there, I'm Sigoni Mohammed, and here's your Farmer's Almanac for the week ahead. It is shaping up to be an active and changeable week as the ITCZ, the Intertropical Convergence Zone, and a few tropical waves bring increased moisture and beneficial rainfall, particularly across southern and eastern Trinidad and central and southwest Tobago. Now, Monday brings variable cloudiness with a few showers. It's a favorable day for planting above ground crops, so take advantage of the showers to get crops established pushed before conditions turn much wetter come Tuesday, with rain for much of the day. Now, here's where you want to hold off on planting and instead focus on weeding and pest control. From Wednesday, and this is going to take us all the way through Friday, we expect a mixture of clouds, sunshine, and periods of rain, with a thunderstorm possible come Wednesday morning. Now, these are excellent days for beans, peas, cucumbers, and other vine crops. They're also favorable for transplanting and planting root crops. But farmers, you should be prepared for high humidity and the possibility of flooding on fields and access roads during consecutive wet days like what we're going to experience. At the same time, irregular rainfall and short hot spells could still produce heat and moisture stress, particularly across parts of Tobago. Now, Saturday, it does remain mostly cloudy with some rain before another wetter spell arrives on Sunday with periods of rain, and we're also expecting some showery activity in there. So use any safe, dry windows for general farm work, and bear in mind that gusty winds may also damage young or flowering plants on exposed hillsides, while occasional Saharan dust during this time could affect poultry and small ruminants. Now, with several tropical waves around, it's probably best that you keep your drains and waterways clear to reduce flooding and waterlogging. High humidity means farmers should monitor closely for fungal, bacterial, and viral diseases, particularly after prolonged rainfall. If you're in Tobago, you want to continue mulching, maintaining your water storage, and irrigating efficiently, as drought conditions are expected in September despite this week's rainfall. And protect livestock from both heat and Saharan dust while maintaining windbreaks around those young and flowering crops. So farmers, take advantage of the full moon planting window on Friday and Saturday and capture that rainfall where you can. That's your Farmer's Almanac, helping you grow smarter every week.
Sigoni, sincere thanks. Up next, I'm getting into a conversation, great conversation as always, with economist Dr. Indira Sajiwan. She joins me next.
It's back to school! Savings time at Passad's Seafood King. Stock up and save big on Clorox bleach, 3.79 liters for only $30.99. Swiss pasta cuts, 300 grams, 4 packs, just $18. Sweet Hand soybean oil, 1.5 liters, just $25. Flavorite ice cream assorted, 3.2 liters, 2 tubs, now $84. Matuk's guava jam, 454 grams, 2 jars, just $25. Nestle milk full cream recon or low fat, 1 liter, 2 packs for only $28. Country Pride flour all purpose, 2 kg, 2 packs, just $27. Caribbean parboiled rice, 9 kg for only $74.99. Minced chicken per pound, now $26.99. Fruitacool Kids 200 ml, only $60 per case. Don't miss the back to school deals at Passad's Seafood King. Still end September 6, 2026 or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Passad's, we're here to stay. The Food King Passad's.
Every day, your family comes into contact with thousands of germs. That's why families trust Kovacs antibacterial bar soap. Its antibacterial formula helps eliminate 99.9% of germs, providing the protection your family needs. And with a caring glycerine formula, Kovacs helps keep skin feeling clean, fresh and cared for. Choose fresh, cool or active protection to match your family's lifestyle. Kovacs antibacterial soap. Tough on germs, gentle on skin.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Hi, Sunil here, and for the longest while, I've been looking for a place in Central to call home. I didn't have much experience in home shopping until I visited Avidan Properties Limited. They made the process so easy, and the quality of homes are truly amazing. If you're looking to get your future home, then I definitely recommend Avidan Properties Limited.
When you fill the world with love, it's magic.
Dairy, dairy, the milky milk.
Introducing CTS College's Early Learners Academy, our physical school with a nursery, daycare, and preschool. With qualified and experienced staff, modern classrooms, and the latest teaching methods and technology, your child would get the personal care and education they deserve. Activities include potty training, storytelling, phonics, craft, academics, and field trips. Enroll your child today at CTS College's Early Learners Academy.
Every project begins with a vision, a roof built to last, windows that open new possibilities, coatings that protect, finishes that transform. At RSL Group, we supply and install trusted building solutions for residential, commercial, and industrial projects. Proudly serving Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana while exporting throughout the Caribbean, one project at a time. RSL Group, experience you know, quality you can trust.
It's my country. Every green and red. Have I reached one place?
Dr. Indira Sajiwan joins me on the Zoom line, economist, as we treat with Dr. Sajiwan. And let me say firstly, good morning. We treat with issues regarding, the economy, instability, some are suggesting, at state institutions. We look at, let's say, for example, TSTT, 3 CEOs, at least they're on to their third one within the last calendar year, thereabouts, and we're seeing where a couple other agencies, change as it pertains to the management, change to the direction. We're looking at Angostura, today's front page, they're battling over this particular claim, conflict of interest being thrown into the mix. There are so many moving parts. Through your lens and looking at just the wider picture, does this impact the general turning of the wheel, as it were, especially when we consider our state institutions? Dr. Sajiwan, great to see you as always.
All right, pleasant good morning to you and to your viewers. We're just, diving straight in. I think whenever a new government changes, it comes with a lot of change, especially at the level of state boards, state institutions. I think that is some of what we are seeing is on account of that, obviously. And we are seeing changes not only at the level of the board, but also at the level of senior management. I'm not privy to what is happening inside any one of these institutions, and we can only hope that measures are being put in place to bring about stability and to ensure that the institutions themselves do not suffer as a consequence of these changes. But certainly at the level of the boards, that is par for the course. We have been seeing where people are being asked to resign as a consequence of notions of corruption. And I think that is something we should welcome. I mean, no prime minister, no executive really have full knowledge of any individual that they may be putting in to a position, and the fact that they are willing to act, it would appear very quickly if there are notions of corruption taking place. I think that speaks well, so that is not an instability that I worry about. Certainly at the level of, at the senior management level in some of the institutions where we have been seeing some amount of changes, one wants to, especially where it's a financial institution, for example, we want to ensure that there are the requisite skill set being put in place as quickly as possible in order to bring about the kind of stability that we want and the kind of confidence that is required from the public in institutions such as those.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that word confidence, because I was going to get to that part of it, the business confidence and also the confidence of the staff, because rightfully, you would have mentioned corruption is something that we weed out. We don't want it. So if there are allegations in that regard, I would very much agree with the removal of someone. And we know the politics of the day. It happens with both major entities. Whoever's in, they bring in their people. But I'm looking at, let's say, a place like TSTT, which would have turned over a profit for the first time in many years. And we have seen the departure of Westel. He was gone. Then Cox, we saw last week, he's on his way out, and there's going to be a third person at the helm. What does this say not only to the confidence of those who use TSTT services, but the staff who are guided by shifting leaders, shifting faces and personalities with different, every leader will have a different, obviously, objective and a position. What's your take on that confidence side of it, business-wise, for the customers and those who are working within the state enterprise?
Well, this is not an area of expertise for me to speak to telecommunication area, okay? I mean, all I can say at this point in time is that we need to give the process a chance. I think it is very early days to pass any amount of judgment. I do want to say, though, that the service from some of these organizations, in particular the one that we're talking about now, has been less than very good from a consumer perspective. I mean, I speak from my own perspective. The rate at which Wi-Fi service is continually affected negatively is something that I could point to directly. I myself had a situation where I've been charged for text messages when I didn't request it, and had my phone service disconnected for $35 that I didn't pay because it accumulated over months in text messages that I never requested from TSTT. So that I use my own example to say that I think if there were any notions of inefficiencies, I think it predates what we see happening, and I want to allow what is happening the opportunity to settle itself, and let us maybe give it until we see some other financial reports or reports in terms of service, and then maybe pass judgment.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, I think that this is one of the areas that doesn't worry me as much as other areas, things that are happening in the economy. Certainly, things like the rate at which we need to see the revitalization of economic growth in the economy. I think, as people, that is what we need to be concerned about, because that has implication for job creation. It has implication for government revenues, etc. So what is happening in terms of the energy industry, the non-energy industry, those are the things that occupy my time.
Of course, and I would love for you to expand on that, because you've touched on a very important topic there. But let me ask, though, as it pertains to, well, I know TSTT is communications, ICT, you got FCB, finance, financial giant, and then you have heritage, which, as you rightfully said, let's get into that energy conversation. Out of the three, should there be one where there is continuity? You think there should be continuity in any one of these major sectors, or are you open to that change in the leadership and that change in the direction according to who's at the wheel at any given time?
If we're talking about, there are two levels of continuity. There's the level of continuity and the level of the board. And
I'm talking continuity from the leadership standpoint, from the person who's actually holding...
That's leadership. At the board level, that's the ultimate leadership. The board of directors of any institution, shapes the policy direction based on, where the government wants to take it. And it's part of the course in our country that when a government changes, at the level of the board, that changes as well, because a government wants to ensure to have the people at the level, within the board of directors, that they believe are in alignment with their own policy and where they want to take the country. So that is something that we've grown to accept. At the level of management, even there, I mean, again, this is not something that is new. It is not something that we're only now seeing happen, where we are seeing senior management change is taking place in order to now have supposedly a better alignment with where the new government wants to take our country. So I would be worried if, for example, the changes did not reflect a level of skill set that we want to see associated with the organization, both at the level of the board and at the level of management. And again, that I think is something, the shifts that we're seeing, not new, and we just have to kind of wait and trust in the process to some extent, be mindful and be critical of the process. Let us not be afraid to be critical of the process. If, for example, let's take a FCB where we have seen recently where the newly appointed CEO, somebody who's been at the helm of FCB for a very, very, not the helm, but just below for a very long time, was appointed under this new administration. That was not somebody new. They appointed him to the position of CEO, who made a personal decision that he wants to now take his life in a different direction. So that wasn't as a consequence of the government doing anything. It was a decision that this individual took, that he now wants to go where better opportunities, wider opportunities are being afforded to him.
Indeed.
We have not yet seen a replacement, but if, for example, we saw FCB take the janitor and make the janitor the next CEO, that would worry me, right?
Yeah.
But if the person who we see being appointed comes with the requisite skill set and experience, etc., then I think it is what happens.
Yeah, so let me ask, as it pertains, and thank you so much for the commentary there, as it pertains to the energy sector, it's one that obviously it does well for the GDP and our overall economic position, but I know when it comes down to the actual numbers, employment, actually people working in this space, it's a very specialized field and it doesn't employ the mass. What do you think we could generate at this point in time to get some more mass employment going? I know you mentioned the maritime product, that's something you always speak highly of, and you see the potential in our maritime potential. What about the tourism product? It's a low-hanging fruit, and I'm seeing, like, let's say Hilton is looking to leave, and we have CPL coming up, we have Tobago Carnival, and we can see the momentum with sports tourism, with the cultural tourism. Eco-tourism is something that we don't even tap into. What's your take? Where can we go immediately to generate some employment and get the wheels turning?
Well, you both also answered the question. Instead, yes, tourism is absolutely a no-brainer, and we just really need to create the alignment. If you, by chance, may have read my last column that I had in the newspaper, I spoke to the fact that energy continues to be a sector that we need to revitalize, and the initiatives that we have recently heard are very, very welcome. It speaks to the fact that we will see new gas flowing into the industry, which is desperately needed, because the shortfall that we have seen since 2014 to now, it's not something that has been with us only over the last 1 or 2 years. It's been with us for quite a while, and that particular sector has been suffering. It has been negatively impacting government revenue, employment. Even though only 3% of the labor force it employs, we have been seeing contraction in employment within the very energy sector itself, as we have seen plant closures, etc., because there's no gas. The government, credit to it, has moved aggressively towards shoring up the supply of gas in the energy sector. This gas is not going to flow tomorrow. It's not going to flow possibly for most of 2027, but there's the expectation that towards the end of 2027, going into 2028 and thereafter, there is going to be a shoring up of the supply of natural gas into the energy sector. I know there's a whole debate as to where it will go. Yes, all the evidence points to the fact that a lot of it will go to LNG, where the price of exporting LNG is very high. That means even though government will not realize the profits or the benefits the way it did when we owned the gas, when it was Trinidad and Tobago natural gas. It's a different model now. The gas is Venezuelan gas by and large, although there are parts of it that still belongs to us, so that we may not see the same amount of resources being flowing into the treasury, whether it's through royalties, taxes, etc. But the fact that we can revitalize the sector once again means that our government will benefit from taxes that the companies will pay. We will see again employment being generated, and the whole spillover, because remember, the energy sector is not just in and of itself, but it's all of the suppliers that are linked into it, all of the subsidiary industry,
Downstream, yeah.
what government uses that money to do in terms of generating employment, using it hopefully this time round, and we are hoping they will use it this time round to grow the very tourism sector that you are talking about.
Well, as we wrap things up, Dr. Sajiwan, I'll let you have the final say. In the seconds that remain, are you ultimately optimistic, despite all what's going on and all the moving parts? As an economist looking at our current state, are you optimistic as we look towards the future?
Yes, I am optimistic, although I want to caution that the next year, maybe going into even early 2028, is not going to be the easiest of years. These are not initiatives where we will see the roll-off of the benefits tomorrow. It's going to take time. We have heard about the steel investment. We're hearing about AI. We're hearing about initiatives that will redound to the benefit of the country. They won't be immediate. They will be long-term. I do also, as I caution the country, to be cautiously optimistic and understand that we still have to continue to be careful with how monies are being spent. The government is going to continue to be very constrained in terms of resources in the short term, as I have defined it, and we have to therefore be mindful of this in terms of our expectation, especially given that we are coming into a budget. People need to temper their expectations with respect to this new budget. I think if the government is able to hold the ship steady through the next year and a little bit more, I think we will see, benefits, revenue benefits, employment benefits coming in. And at the very same time, I want to caution government that it must be careful not to repeat the recurrent decimal of the past and put all its eggs once again in that energy basket. We are hearing about other alternatives, but there are even lower hanging fruits that are around us. You mentioned tourism, and tourism has a number of subsectors within it that we should focus on: yachting, sports tourism, medical tourism, cuisine tourism. There are a whole number of variations within there. This industry has the capacity to in the very short term, generate foreign exchange, generate employment, sustainable employment. It is about aligning all of the factors to the task at hand. There are other sectors, the creative industries, maritime services, etc., agro-tourism, where it is an area we already have a certain amount of advantage in, and therefore building out on that further is something that we need to do. So my caution to government is take the same approach that you are taking with respect to the energy sector now. And as you attempt to revitalize the existing structure of the energy sector, focus on renewable energies as well, and use the same aggressiveness to focus on the non-energy sector in terms of securing long-term sustainability for the country and the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Dr. Sajiwan, always a joy, always a pleasure. Great to see you, and we
always happy to be here.
Yes, we will get a chance to touch base soon. All the best.
Sure, thank you.
Yes, Dr. Indira Sajiwan, economist, very passionate, and could tell every time we talk, whether on air or off air, a true patriot, someone who really wants the best for Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much, Dr. Sajiwan. The Alta team joins me next. Of course, Alta doing tremendous work with us. We'll touch base with a tutor and a student. I'll let you know how you can get involved. Again, Alta, they're stepping in with their 2026 student campaign. The Alta team, they're up next.
At Extra Foods, we care for you. That's why we offer you the widest variety at the best prices. Clean, spacious surroundings. Friendly professional service because we care. And remember, we're the home of Plenty for 20 savings, giveaways and samplings. Plus, we're open all day Sunday just for you. And we've got you covered with basement parking for over 200 cars for your convenience. Because our customers are our priority. Let us care for you. Extra Foods. Always extra for less.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95, or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Today, we can send and receive love instantly. With It, your loved ones can send MoneyGram transfers straight to your It wallet. No trips, no lines, just secure, quick, and convenient access to your money in your It wallet when you need it. Download the It app now. Your money, your way. Powered by the MoneyGram Network.
Thinking it's time to upgrade your fridge? Now's a great time to do it at Quartz. Get 15% off fridges $5,999 and over when you shop with Quartz Ready Finance on 24-month and over credit accounts. So whether you need more space, better cooling, or simply a fresh new look for your kitchen, come into Quartz and find the fridge that's right for your home. Upgrade today with a payment plan you'll feel good about. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
It's back to school! Savings time at Passad's the Food King. Stock up and save big on. Get 4 packs of Swiss spaghetti or macaroni, 400 grams, just $20. Swiss peanut butter, 235 grams, 2 jars, only $20. Erin Farm chicken bologna, 150 grams, 3 packs for only $20. Guiltless yogurt yum, 120 grams, 4 tubs for just $20. Kraft mac and cheese dinner, 5.5 ounces, 2 boxes, just $20. Fresh Harvest Big Bean and Tomato Sauce, 3 tins, now $20. 8 Gala Apple Snacks for just $20. Blue Sea Tuna Flakes in water or oil, 140 grams, 3 cans, just $16.99. Oasis Water, 330 ml, just $14.99 per case. Don't miss the back-to-school deals at Passad's the Food King. Sale end September 6, 2026 or while stocks last.
Passad, quality value, that's our way. The real Passads, we're here to stay. The Food King Passads. I pledge to serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad.
Always an absolute joy to have my friends from Alta, myself and Blaze. I recall very early in our career, we have pledged our support. I mean, obviously, time is of the essence, and you know, life is really pacey. But the Alta team knows fully well that when they need me in any capacity, or even if it's to come on the program for promotion, we are always available. And I'm really tremendously, pleased and happy to have with me one of their tutors. His name is Ruel Aberdeen. So Ruel, you know, great work, man. Service the nation, Ruel.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. And with you, a great colleague here, one of the students, Winston. Winston Burnett, good to see you, Winston.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure. And Winston actually is from the sister Isle Tobago, so good morning to Sweet Tobago. I want to ask you, as it pertains to the 2026 student campaign, Ruel, what's the latest rollout, and how could one join up and just be part of what's happening, whether it's the virtual class or the face-to-face?
Right. Well, the theme, you could say this year, is a little today, a lot tomorrow.
Excellent.
So the idea behind the theme, and it kind of is there in the name, is that anything you have to achieve in life, it comes in small steps. It's not always a big leap. It comes in small steps. So just encouraging people to do the little today that you need to do to be able to make that accumulative step in the future.
For sure.
Right? A little today, a lot tomorrow. So we are encouraging students or potential students, if you have heard of Alta or you're hearing about it today, make that step and pick up the phone and call. We have been receiving receiving calls since June. You can call, you could call on WhatsApp, 708-1990, or you could call 624-2582, And we have people there ready to take your name, and you could show your interest if you want to be involved, if you want to come as a student, if you want to support as a tutor, or in any other capacity.
Now, well said, Ruel. And I want to bring Winston in to find out your lived reality. Firstly, where did you hear about Alta, and did you make up your mind on your own, or was there some level of encouragement to say, you know what, let me go and do these virtual classes to sharpen up on myself?
Basically, my cousin actually told me about the Alta program. Well, she called me, and she come up on holidays by one of her friends, and she called me, "Cousin, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing much." And she said, "I'm bored at home." So I asked the question, "Have you been to Fort Bennett?" And she says, "No." And I told her and said, "I can take you there." And when we went, she come and she picked me up. And when we went to the site, she was really, really happy because the view and everything was really, really interesting and nice and stuff. And we took pictures and stuff and everything. And then she asked me, "What you want in life?" And I said, "Cause to be able to read and write, And she said, "But there's a program by the name of Alta." I said, and I was like in my gears, and really, like happy, because I seen, She said, "Yes, there's a program by the name of Alta, and when I go back, I will send the information."
Excellent.
For you.
Because now you're back, for sure. And clearly with the virtual class, because here it is, Winston is coming in, just like many other of the students. Walk me through, Ruel, the process in terms of just for beginners, that process, and from what you have seen over the years, with that kind of commitment like Winston here, how soon does it take? I mean, everybody will be different, all right? But is there a particular timeline after 3 months, 6 months, after a year, people are more proficient? What you have witnessed?
Well, I can tell you how the program is set up. So for at least beginners, let's say somebody comes in for beginners and they don't know any letters, beginners is set up so that at least over 2 years, it should be able to move up to level 1. Now, there are many people who, when they come in beginners, they already know some letters, but they may not know how to put it together into words and things. They may not necessarily take 2 years. They might be able to finish in a year and move up into level 1. So like I said, people are at different levels, but it depends on their proficiency, how quickly they adapt, how committed they are to doing the necessary practice and homework and that kind of thing.
And that's why I want to bring Winston back in. Being a student, being part of Alta, starting your process and coming to this point, what did it do to your confidence and to your just overall life?
Well, actually, when I came in, I was a little bit, flustered, but it built my confidence by, certain things that I did not know about, and now that I know about it and I could go about it for myself, it's really tremendous.
Yeah, and to me, I think that is the winner. You could never put a price tag on that, the confidence and the knowledge, and just that being able to understand science, read, be able to express yourself in a better way, because you could express yourself. I mean, you have no problem with that, but I guess now you have that extra confidence.
Yes.
Let me ask you, as it pertains to International Literacy Day, from what I understand is coming up next month on the 8th, any special promotion going on via Alta? Because I know literacy is your business.
Yes. Well, it's on September the 8th, we are promoting International Literacy Day in the national libraries. So we encourage people to come out. You can come, ask about Alta, whether it is you want to come as a student, whether it is you want to help out, not necessarily be a tutor, but help out however you can. international, you can come to the library and ask about, okay, what is ALTA doing here on International Literacy Day, and see how you can assist, see how you can participate, be a part of it.
Well, Roel and Winston, we have a video to play, and we're going to come back and wrap things up. But I would love to know, if somebody got the time, how does one become a tutor? So I would love for you to answer that after this particular video. And even more so if they have resources and you just want to, you don't have the time to probably be a tutor to go down, but you want to send some resources to make sure ALTA keeps on running. Because I went to the office in Belmont years ago. I know you all in Arima also. Here you all in San Fernando too.
Yes.
Fantastic. I would like ALTA, I mean, you all are really tremendous, you know, the work you all continue to do. I applaud you all full 100. Let's take in this video and we come back to wrap things up with Winston and Ruel.
I couldn't read at all, like I didn't know any words. And then from my level beginner, I could start reading 5-letter words perfectly fine.
You teach them much more than a normal school. Each small step improved my life situation and made me more in control of things.
My ideal tomorrow will look like me reading any sign that I see or anything that my son says, Mommy, what is that?
A little today.
A little today.
A little today.
A lot tomorrow.
ALTA.
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 Are you 16 and over? Your little today could be a lot tomorrow. Free spelling and reading classes. Call ALTA 708-1990.
You know, in the few seconds that remain, Winston, I'll let you have a final say and then I'll come to Ruel. For those looking on who might be a bit nervous, a bit, you know, they want to do it, but they're still a bit on the fence about going over the line and making the call to start the classes. What you want to tell them this morning, Winston?
Well, just go brave and, you know, and put your faith through what you have to do, just like I did. And trust me, it's amazing, and it's a great experience. And when you finish, you'll be like a pro.
Well done, Winston. Thank you so much. I'll let you have the final say, Ruel, as we wrap things up. How does one become a tutor?
Yes. So once you have CXC level 2, CXC A2, and CXC English, you can be a part. You are, as we qualified to step up to show our interest in being a tutor. However, we recognize people, there's a commitment. So we do have a process before you start actually training. But if you call the office and you show your interest, we recruit between October. You start recruitment in October, so you can feel free to call in and show your interest that you want to be a tutor.
Gentlemen, sincere thanks and kudos to the great work at ALTA. The information is on the screen. Take the number down, give them a call today. Up next, we get into some CPL action and discussion. The CPL Breakfast Show is next, and Peter Miller joins me, Head of International Communications under the CPL banner. Cricket next.
Tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Brand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Brand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Brand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Struggling to lose weight despite your efforts, feeling tired after meals, or dealing with stubborn belly fat? It may not just be your diet. Your blood sugar could be the issue. Spikes can lead to fat storage, low energy, and higher cholesterol. Berberine Plus, with berberine, bitter melon, and banana leaf, helps support healthy glucose metabolism so your body works more efficiently. Take control and feel the difference in 90 days. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide.
When it comes to gypsum and ceiling solutions, there's only one name you can count on. Contractors Warehouse is your complete supplier with the materials and solutions your project demands. From premium gypsum boards to superior quality and specialty ceiling tiles, framing metals and ceiling grid systems, joint compounds, adhesives, and the full range of accessories. As an authorized USG distributor, we bring you quality products you can trust. With 2 strategic locations in El Socorro and Gulfview Link Road. Contractors Warehouse, everything gypsum, all in one place.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Discover your favorite treat with Casey Candy Gummies. Sweet or sour, dive into a wave of fun shapes and flavors. Our halal gummies are made with fruit juices and every bite is packed with fun, chewiness, and pure deliciousness. Perfect for an everyday snack, birthday parties, or lunch boxes. Make your snack time irresistible and enjoy your day with Casey Gummies.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95 or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Head of International Communications for CPL, Peter Miller, joins me. But before we get into that deep CPL discussion with Pete, let's take in some of the highlights from the action this weekend for CPL 2026.
Cricket highlights brought to you by JMMB. It's banking for real.
TKR looks set for a big total after Colin Monroe and Nicholas Pooran powered them to 73 for 1 in the power play. Monroe made 46 from 33, while Pooran blasted 43 from just 17 balls, with 6 fours and 2 sixes. But the Falcons fought back, and Shadab Khan was at the heart of the turnaround. He was brilliant with the ball, returning 1 for 8 from 4 overs, while Joshua James claimed 2 for 23. TKR lost their momentum and eventually closed on 165 for 6, leaving the Falcons needing 166 for victory. The chase was anything but straightforward. Rakeem Cornwall blasted 14 from the first over, but was run out from the very next ball. Wickets continued to fall, and by the start of the 13th over, the Falcons were 92 for 5, still needing 74 runs from 41 balls. Enter Shadab. He and Kusal Pereira turned the match on its head, putting together an unbeaten 76-run partnership from just 33 balls. Pereira played the perfect supporting role with 34 not out from 24, but Shadab was in a different class. Then came the game changer in the 18th over. Nathan Edwards was taken for 27 runs, including 3 Shadab sixes, and suddenly the Falcons needed just 11 from 12 balls. 2 more sixes off Terrence Hines, including the winning blow, and that was that. Shadab finished unbeaten on 52 from just 20 balls with 5 sixes and 2 fours, as the Falcons reached 168 for 5 in 18.3 overs. 5-wicket win, back-to-back victories, and a perfect home record. The result lifts the Falcons to the top of the CPL table with 3 wins from 5 matches, and for TKR, it's a second straight defeat, despite that explosive start. Rajiv Surat Singh, CNC3 Sport.
Cricket Highlights, brought to you by JMMB. It's banking for real.
That's right. Peter Miller on set with me as we take in the highlights and also look forward to the week of action ahead. The champions are back on home soil. Trinidad's turn for CPL 2026, Pete.
Always really exciting to be here in Trinidad. One of the great CPL venues. Queen's Park Oval, one of the great cricket venues. So very excited for getting underway on Wednesday.
That's right. Welcome back. Walk me through, for those, I mean, you probably need to be living under a rock, but we're looking at days, timing. We all know everything is happening at the Oval, but I just want to go through the days for the games and the timing.
Yeah, so we start on Wednesday, then we have a game on Friday, then we play on Sunday and Monday, and then we have a game on the Wednesday. So Monday's the one I'm really looking forward to. That's TKR versus Guyana Amazon Warriors.
Classical. CPL Classico.
El Carico, I think we should start calling it maybe.
El Carico. You make up that, or that's what they actually
I just thought of it just then.
That mad. That El Carico.
But yeah, obviously that's on Independence Day.
Independence Day.
So 5 p.m. So I'm looking forward to getting up. I'm staying just right on the savannah. So get up and I'm going to watch the parade and then watch some cricket. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So it's the first time we've had a game on Independence Day, actually.
First time. And that game is actually, from what I recognize, it's an earlier time slot.
Yeah, 5 p.m. So I think the plan is, obviously people working day the next day, but obviously hopefully some celebrations throughout the day. So I think we would have liked to have had it earlier, but obviously with the game being at Queen's Park Oval, there's quite a lot going on at the Savannah earlier on in the day. So very much looking forward to it.
The other games, we're talking night games?
Yeah, all the other games are at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Let me ask, as it pertains to the economic impact, and I want to talk about that first, and then I want to dive into a scenario that's presenting itself very interestingly for us to enjoy this beautiful game throughout the region. But let's focus on the economic impact on Trinidad and Tobago first with CPL.
Yeah, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago, slightly different from perhaps other Caribbean countries, given that it's not as focused on tourism as perhaps it is in St. Lucia and Barbados. But tourism's still a big part of what brings money into a country. So here in Trinidad, in August and September is not a time when you would necessarily have lots of people coming over, to go over to Tobago to go and enjoy the resorts, that kind of thing. So what CPL brings is an opportunity to have inbound arrivals into the country. And that's obviously fans arriving into the games, which is a big part of it. People do travel for CPL, and we'll come on and talk about that. But also, you've got to factor in the teams, the TV crew, the CPL staff. There's 200 to 250 people that are travelling into Trinidad and Tobago. We're filling up hotel rooms. We're going and spending money in restaurants. I know that the TV crew, who I enjoy spending time with, are a thirsty bunch, and they'll be out and about enjoying the bars and restaurants in Port of Spain. So it's a big part of what we try and do. And then the other aspect to it is that while we're here, we do try very hard to try and sell these countries as destinations that people should go and visit. The Caribbean's an amazing place to come and visit, and the CPL is an amazing platform to try and sell that concept of how people should come and visit these different countries.
Peter, I'm glad I touched on that, because that's treating with the arrivals and the many who will come in from the taxi man to the hotel, as you rightfully identified. Everyone could eat and money circulating. For those with the extra coins who want to enjoy CPL in our next territory. So let's treat now with departures, those who want to leave Trinidad to see the action in Providence, to see what's going on in Barbados. I'm hearing now there is a charter, there is an option. Walk me through that.
Yeah, so what we do as CPL is obviously traveling around the Caribbean, and what makes CPL so fascinating as a tournament is that it's played in 8 different nation states. There isn't another franchise T20 tournament that does that. So what we do is we charter a plane. So we're working with a company called Mile High Travels and Suriname Airways, and we've chartered a 737 to transport people back and forth around the Caribbean. We have extra seats on those planes. So when we're there and, say for example, the St. Lucia Kings play the first game here on Wednesday, and then they will leave and go on to the next territory. I believe they're going to St. Kitts, but I don't have the schedule in front of me. But when they do leave, what we'll then have is we will have a flight that leaves with that crew on it to go. So what we're doing with Mile High Travels is offer people the opportunity to buy seats on those planes. So you have the opportunity to fly direct from Trinidad to St. Kitts to Barbados at very competitive prices, and also the opportunity to share the plane with a whole load of cricketers, which is an exciting thing to be able to do. But yeah, so if people go to milehightravelsinc.org, they'll be able to go and press book a flight, and they'll be able to book a flight there, and that means that you can then have, I think the most expensive flight is $500 US, the cheapest flight is $220 US. So I think from the conversation we were having before we went on air, you've told me that that's quite competitive in terms of being able to, you know.
It is. So especially with a direct flight to these territories. Yeah, because naturally sometimes, especially let's say at St. Kitts, you have to reroute through Antigua. It's never really a direct scenario. So direct, perfect. My question is, this treats with the flight one way, and you have to treat with your ground transport and your accommodation when you get there. This is just primarily
the flight. So it's not a whole travel package, but what it is an opportunity for you to use some of those empty seats. So because some of the flights that we'll have, for example, the flight that I flew in here to Trinidad from when I came from St. Lucia had the CPL team, the broadcast team, and 2 teams. That fills up pretty much the whole jet. Not necessarily seats, but in terms of luggage. But there's other flights where it'll be one team that's on that flight, 30 people, and it's a 190-seat jet. So there's an opportunity for us to try and say, right, okay, well, this plane's already going. Why don't we just offer the opportunity to fans to come and join us?
Makes total sense, and they get a chance to travel with, you know, your favorite athletes there on the team. Let's go back again to the investment part, because I know obviously we know about the atmosphere and what the Oval will bring, but I'm hearing of a partnership, or at least coming together as it pertains to Trinidad's, tourism, Trinidad's role in all of this. What's that conversation like, and not only from a government standpoint, but even just corporate, so much corporate entities getting involved in CPL 2026?
Yeah, I mean, Trinidad's really been the beating heart of CPL for a long time. If you think of the big sponsors who are involved in CPL, a lot of them are domiciled here in Trinidad. From a government point of view, that partnership's really important to us. I think it's really important we're putting Visit Trinidad front and center of all of the stuff that we're doing. So they'll have branding within the stadium. We'll also have vignettes that are showing the amazing places that you can visit here in Trinidad. We'll do features on TV where we'll take cricketers to go off, and you know, I've got one planned where there's a local cricketer that's going to be taking a visiting cricketer around Trinidad, first time he's been here, to show him Port of Spain and the wider areas, to say these are the places that you need to visit. So I think for me, that's the thing I've enjoyed most about coming to the Caribbean, is getting to know local people and them showing me around. That's such a different experience, I think, from coming as a tourist, right? And that's what we're trying to show people with these features, is that kind of in-depth, what's it actually like to go and visit the real Trinidad, the real Barbados, and you can kind of really understand what it is like to live in one of these places and really experience the culture.
Speaking about Barbados, I know Barbados is the island destination for the finals, and I recognize there's a massive concert happening. Is that the halftime show? Is that concert happening with Mavado before the finals?
That's the night before the finals at the Botanical Gardens. So if you go to liveandlouderevents.com, you can get your tickets. I think tickets start at $60, $70 US for you to get a ticket. It's Mavado, The Voice, Estelle, Christopher Martin, lots of Barbados artists. So it's the Live and Louder mega concert. So what we're trying to do, as far as the final destination is concerned, and the destination for finals week rather, is to provide a really compelling proposition that when you're coming, there's just lots of things for you to do. So if you come over for the finals week, you've got the opportunity to go to the mega concert on the 19th of September. On the 15th of September, we have the Hall of Fame gala dinner.
Yes.
You could come along and enjoy that and see Ian Bishop and Dwayne Bravo being inducted into the Hall of Fame. If you look on the CPL website, there's details in terms of how you can look to try and get yourself a seat to come along to that, which is supporting the Sir Clive Lloyd Health Foundation, which is trying to fight prostate cancer. And there's we're going to have a cricket simulator. They're going to be there, you know, similar to the Sixes bar that you may have seen here in Trinidad, where that's going to be for free for fans to use. We're going to be doing clinics with kids. It's about making it a really real festival.
All inclusive. Peter, great to see you in person. Thanks for coming out bright and early. And see you at the Oval. It's going to be tremendous this week. As we look to wrap things up, let's give you a little taste as to what's in store today here on CNC3. So you're going to get that replay of the Falcons and the Warriors. It's happening today at 1 p.m., but the action on Wednesday will be live. All TKR games live here on CNC3. Have a great one, TNT. It's been tremendous spending the morning with you. God spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Until then, have a safe and productive day.